miners have handed off a lot of sovereignty to centralized third parties. There's a bunch of reasons for that, and a lot of it, thankfully, is just sloppiness and not really doing the maths and realizing how much money they're losing doing that. So when anyone's prepared to do some calculations and analysis, they can say, hey, I can do what's good for Bitcoin. I can help decentralize it and make more money. That pretty much ties everything back together again. There's no self-sacrifice or appeal to altruism that's necessary to help miners do what helps Bitcoin and move away from all the centralized third parties. Ocean launched way back now in November 2023. And we've had enough people doing case studies. If you go on Ocean XYZ, you'll see testimony after testimony after testimony of very well-respected miners who've said, I've been mining with Ocean for months. I've earned a lot more money doing it. The claims have been out there. All our payout information is public. We make claims to pay more than FPPS pools. Some people have said, I don't believe you. But at the end of the day, we're making comparisons using our public payout data versus pools that don't want to tell anyone anything. And a couple of them have said, no way you guys pay that much more. And then they just sort of disappear into the woodwork and never come back. So we've had a couple of CEOs of FPPS pools say, you guys don't pay out that much more. I'm going to prove it. And then just never do so. Because ultimately, we pay out based on a public payout basis. Every single payout on Ocean is public information for everyone to see. We would be absolutely crazy to make any sort of disingenuous claims around how much we pay out. So everything we say is verifiable. And if you don't mine on Ocean at the moment, you can find someone that does, that has a similar hash rate to you or a similar uptime to you, and do a comparison. And within a very short time frame, there's a lot of noise. But if you expand out to 90 days or 1 quarter or an entire year now, typically we've just been not just a little bit better, but way better. And to round off this whole point, because the reason miners want to mine in a pool in the first place is to reduce variance. But the dominant model is FPPS, which is like, swatting a fly with a nuclear bomb. It's a very, very over-the-top approach to do anything. You don't need to get paid as a miner on a second-by-second basis. You don't need to get paid for every single share. That's overkill, and it's very, very expensive. My favorite analogy for it really is just like, it's buying a car insurance policy that says, hey, if a rock flings up off the highway and chips my windscreen, I want a brand new Ferrari in my driveway tomorrow morning. That product can exist if you want, but it's going to be very expensive, and it's not appropriate. You need something a bit more reasonable, and then it's going to be a bit more affordable. So Ocean is a more old school kind of pool in that way. It just says, look, you split rewards with other miners, right? You've got an exahash, you've got an exahash, you've got an exahash. Let's combine efforts, and then you'll get paid 3 times more often and 1/3 of the amount. That's enough. And it's a much, much cheaper product than FPPS, where the pool takes on all variants and on a minute-by-minute basis will pay you. So that's the premise of it. That's why decentralized mining should win if miners are being economically rational. And we're seeing, as I said at the beginning, we're seeing a migration towards this and away from FPPS. So I'm pretty happy.